While the whole world is busy chasing Tesla's cylindrical batteries, BYD has quietly created a sword that completely changes the game. Why can a company once considered a copycat now possess technology that makes giants from Germany to the United States line up and wait? What exactly is inside the Blade battery, or is this just a top-tier marketing move by the Chinese? Let's join explaining everything to find out right now. Before getting into the video, if you have any interesting questions about any topic, please leave a comment below this video. And now let's dive into the article. To fully understand the essence of the whole story, let's go back in time a bit. The history of BYD began with a very classic from nothing to something story. The company was founded in 1995 by Wang Chuanfu, a chemical engineer from a poor family in China. Initially, BYD did not manufacture cars at all, but focused solely on rechargeable batteries for mobile phones and electronic devices. With an initial capital of only about 2,500,000 yuan and a small team, Wang Chuanfu built the company by optimizing costs and improving battery technology, quickly competing with Japanese firms. By 2003, BYD entered the automotive industry after acquiring a struggling car company, marking a major turning point. From a small battery company, BYD gradually developed into a leading global technology and electric vehicle corporation, with batteries remaining its core foundation. BYD's remarkable growth in recent years has become one of the most notable stories in the global electric vehicle industry. From a domestic battery and car manufacturer, BYD has risen to become the world's largest electric vehicle maker, even surpassing many major competitors in production volume. In 2025 alone, the company sold more than 4.6 million vehicles, continuing to set new records despite increasingly fierce market competition. Not stopping at the Chinese market, BYD has also accelerated its international expansion, with sales in Europe increasing by more than 175% and many new markets recording strong growth. Notably, the company is aiming to sell more than 1.3 million vehicles outside China by 2026, clearly demonstrating its global ambitions. So, what weapon has helped BYD grow so rapidly? Okay, let's get straight to the main point. When talking about BYD, many people immediately think of its affordable prices or its massive production scale. But the real weapon, their trump card, is something we cannot easily see with the naked eye. The answer lies deep inside, at the core of every vehicle: the battery. BYD doesn't just manufacture batteries. They have created a revolution with Blade battery technology. This is not an ordinary component, but the foundation of their entire development strategy. The Blade battery has a unique design that enhances safety, reduces the risk of fire and explosion, and optimizes space inside the vehicle. At the same time, it helps lower production costs while still maintaining stable performance. Thanks to this, BYD can produce electric vehicles that are affordable, durable, and safe. So, what makes this blade-like design so special, and how is it different from all other electric vehicle batteries on the market today? Essentially, it is still a lithium iron phosphate battery, also known as LFP, a type of battery already well known for its durability and safety. But the breakthrough lies in its internal architecture. Imagine it simply like this. Instead of stacking many small bricks, BYD uses long, thin cells to fill the space. This is exactly the key difference. Traditional batteries have a three-layer structure. Small cells are grouped into modules, and then the modules are assembled into a large battery pack. BYD did something very smart. They completely eliminated the module layer in between. It sounds simple, but the impact is huge. Think of it like this. Instead of using a pile of small bricks, now you use a single long steel beam to fill the space. What's the result? Less empty space, better space utilization. It's clearly more optimized at a glance. But here's the twist. Normally, batteries follow the process from cell to module to pack. That means there's an extra intermediate layer for safety. BYD, however, said, "Let's remove the module altogether to simplify things. Attach the cells directly to the pack." It may sound risky, but in reality, it's extremely clever. Fewer components mean fewer points of failure and fewer things that can break. It's the classic principle. The simpler it is, the harder it is to fail. And what do you get in return? With the same battery size, it can store more energy. Or for the same amount of energy, the battery becomes more compact. Not to mention reduced production costs thanks to fewer components and fewer manufacturing steps. It's like hitting multiple targets with one arrow. According to the company's report, this design increases space utilization efficiency by more than 50%. That means, with the same size, the Blade battery can store more energy, allowing vehicles to travel longer distances. This design innovation is not just theoretical, it translates directly into three core benefits, addressing the biggest concerns of consumers when considering electric vehicles. First, and most importantly, is safety. To demonstrate this, BYD conducted a nail penetration test, one of the most extreme tests, simulating a severe collision scenario. The results are significantly different. A typical NMC battery, when punctured, can reach temperatures exceeding 500 degrees Celsius and catch fire violently. Meanwhile, the Blade battery only warms slightly, with a surface temperature of around 30 to 60 degrees Celsius, with no fire and no smoke. This represents a major advancement in safety. And this is the key point. In reality, no one drives under perfect conditions. Accidents, collisions, technical failures, these are all unpredictable. And electric vehicle batteries can fail catastrophically from just a single incident. Idiomatic. It can easily lead to fatal consequences. BYD, however, does not try to make batteries perform only under ideal conditions. They focus on one thing. If the worst-case scenario happens, will the battery still be safe? Thanks to the characteristics of LFP batteries and the Blade design, heat is distributed more evenly, making it much harder for a chain reaction to occur, the very thing that causes uncontrollable battery fires. Put simply, when something goes wrong, it can take the hit better, reducing the risk of fatal consequences. The second benefit is durability. The Blade battery is designed to last for more than 1 million kilometers, far exceeding the lifespan of most vehicles. In other words, the battery pack can outlast the car itself. Finally, there's cost. By using more common and cheaper materials like iron and phosphate instead of expensive cobalt and nickel, along with a simpler design, production costs are significantly reduced. This advantage is passed on to the selling price, making it more accessible to consumers. Simply put, while other manufacturers are trying to make batteries better within the same old design framework, BYD takes a different approach. They redesign the entire battery architecture from the ground up. And that is what makes the Blade battery not just an improvement, but a leap forward in how we understand electric vehicle batteries. From a user's perspective, this completely changes the cost equation. Instead of paying a high upfront cost and worrying about battery replacement after a few years, you get a system that is durable, low wear, and reliable. When you add in the cost of charging electricity, which is cheaper than gasoline, the total cost of ownership of an electric vehicle starts to become lower than that of traditional gasoline cars. This is fundamentally important, and it plays a major role in people's car buying decisions. If you are a well-off family, then it's not really a concern. But the reality is, if you are a practical buyer, someone who buys a car to work and make a living, then saving money every month matters more than spending on something that doesn't help you save. And BYD has targeted this exact pain point of the majority. As mentioned earlier, sales in Europe have surged by a record 175%. But having good technology alone is not enough. The real power of the Blade battery is only fully realized when it serves as the central piece of a much larger business strategy of BYD. Unlike many automakers that have to purchase batteries from third parties, BYD controls almost the entire value chain. They start from extracting raw materials, then produce each battery cell themselves, assemble them into complete battery packs, and install them in their own vehicles. This level of self-sufficiency brings a huge advantage. BYD is not dependent on suppliers, can continuously optimize its products, and reduce costs more effectively. More importantly, they are almost immune to global supply chain shocks. This leads to BYD maintaining stable production output and consistently offering lower prices than competitors. But not in a cheap way. The vehicles are still safe, durable, and reliable. In the past, the market worked like this. If you wanted something cheap, you had to accept lower quality. Now, BYD has completely broken that stereotype. For car buyers, this is very clear. Electric vehicles are becoming more accessible, no longer something only the wealthy can afford. But from a bigger perspective, this is the real game-changing move. When costs are low, BYD can rapidly scale up production, expand globally at speed, and target every segment. With all these advantages, the impact of the Blade battery goes far beyond BYD itself. It is truly reshaping the standards of the entire electric vehicle industry. The Blade battery has raised safety standards to a new level, forcing competitors to reassess and catch up. It also proves that LFP batteries are not only cost-effective, but also highly efficient, driving this technology to become a global mainstream trend. More importantly, it has changed the game. Instead of just competing over which car has the longest range, the competition has now become more practical, focusing on cost, safety, and durability. BYD has made one thing very clear. A good battery does not have to be the most expensive or the most powerful, but one that balances the factors that matter most to users. However, there are also some opposing opinions. Debates remain about real-world performance outside laboratory conditions. Tests such as nail penetration or temperature evaluations are typically conducted in controlled environments. In reality, the operating conditions of electric vehicles are far more complex. Multi-directional collisions, extreme weather conditions, system failures, and more. This leads some experts to argue that more long-term real-world data is needed for a comprehensive assessment rather than relying solely on standardized tests. Finally, there is the issue of fast charging capability. Although the Blade battery has made significant improvements, LFP batteries in general are still not the optimal choice if you prioritize ultra-fast charging, compared to some newer battery technologies or high-end NMC batteries. This is related to their.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe my channel. Bye bye.